had every school district in the province having a representative sitting in my classroom, 22 students in those days, and I was teaching a ukulele lesson. And the kids ate it up. No matter what I did with them, and again, you know, I had some music background, whatever I did, they just loved it. They thought this was great. So all these new music supervisors see this. Pretty soon, in that first year, I'm being invited to take my class to the province's music education conference. Okay. And then the university I graduated from took note that I was doing this and sort of called me back and said, we'd like you to show the students in our music program how this program works. Okay, now I'm a novice teacher. I'm a novice teacher of ukulele, and yet I'm coming in and being held as, see, this is how you do it. So it just really caught fire, and I was working after school with a group of students called the Langley Ukulele Ensemble B Group. And the A group was being directed by Lorna McPhee, God rest her soul. Lorna was Cam Trousdale's partner. You getting this? Cam Trousdale, UBC, University. Lorna. Wait, there's more. Chalmers Doan's sister-in-law. Oh. I know none of this. I'm just teaching. Just let me teach. Right? Lorna's got the top group. I'm doing this group, and I'm assisting her. I'm going over and I'm working with her. On a Monday night in October, right around now, this would be the anniversary, I got a phone call. Peter, as of tomorrow, you're the director of the senior group. I am? Where are you going? I'm leaving. She had had a falling out with Cam. She was going back home to Nova Scotia. I walked in the next day. I brought my B group and the remaining kids of the A group. They're all in front of me, and I said, okay, I'm your new director. 5 years we're going to Hawaii. The kids that didn't laugh were invited to stay. Those kids that did, I said, you're gone. All right, listen, this is a new beginning. I gotta have people that are committed to work with me. 4 years later, we went to Hawaii. And the news media picked it up. A group of kids from Langley going to the United States, to Hawaii, to play ukulele for them. Now, the media took it as teaching the Hawaiians, and of course I spent the rest of my life saying, I'm not teaching Hawaiians anything, you know. And so we started performing in schools, and we started doing tourist attractions. Several years later, we made a connection to the Sheraton Waikiki, and the Sheraton said, come here, perform here at our hotel. 25 years later, we're still doing that. In 2013, I retired. Our son, Paul, became the director of the Langley Group. 3 of our 4 children were in the ensemble when I directed it. One of them has granted us a couple of granddaughters, which we're delighted about. Another one is Mark, is our oldest son, terrific musician, just phenomenal. He and James Hill played together on his second album. Mark was the bass player. And Paul, who's also just a phenomenal musician, has now inherited the group and is making it his own. And I took on a job as vice president of sales for a national company in 2013 when I retired from being a principal. I did that for 3 years, and Doug Reynolds in Reno invited me to go down and teach at his festival, and I re-caught the bug. I said to the owner of the company, it's been nice. I've enjoyed the time here. We agreed 3 to 5 years. It's 3 years. See ya. And since then, I've gone back to teaching uke to adults. I still work with the kids. I still oversee the Langley program. But now, ultimately, I come down and actually every weekend from September to December is taken doing this. Yeah. And then in May, I'm off to England to teach at a festival there, and then off to Graz, Austria to teach at a festival there. Been invited to Italy to teach at a festival there. Unfortunately, it coincides with the 25th anniversary of Hawaii, so that isn't going to happen. But it's taken on a life of its own. Yeah, so there's
When were you a principal?
I was, after 3 years in the school district, I was appointed a vice principal So very shortly after I took the job, I became a vice principal, and just a few years after that, I became a principal.
But you still continue to do the music?
After school. Yeah. And actually, I always taught. I believed it was really important for me as a principal to show leadership in the classroom. And so if a teacher came to me and said, "You don't know what it's like," I'd say, "Well, hold on a minute. Yes, I do. I teach the same kids you're teaching," and I would take music kids, so I would see 4 different classes. And you know, those kids, some of those kids had autism, some of those kids lots of those kids had ADHD. Lots of those kids were in positions where I had a chance to understand what the teachers were going through and tried to be very supportive of them in working with those kids. More importantly, and this tells you about me, be supportive of those kids and learning from those teachers. And that sometimes brought about some angst on the part of the teacher, because I'd say, "And what are you doing to address their needs?" Well, they're not wait a minute, what are you doing to make sure that they learn? Well, you don't understand. Well, yeah, I do actually. I have those same kids taking ukulele lessons from me twice a week. So don't tell me I don't get it. I completely understand. It's up to us as teachers to make sure it works for them, not for them to behave the way you want them to. That's not how it works. So needless to say, I was a bit like I am when I teach you. I'm that way as a school principal as well. There's a right way to do things. Let's do it the right way. Yeah. Good. All right. You're very welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put on a C chord. And what I want you to do is strum down and up across the string. C chord and 3 and go. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is build on the fact that I've taught most of you for 2 sessions already. Those of you that are new to this, I'm banking on the fact that you're advanced enough that you're going to figure this out really quickly. Okay? So that's a C chord. It's a C chord because it's got 3 notes in it from the C scale that make it a chord. The root, the 3rd, and the 5th of the scale form a C major chord. That's what you're playing right now, okay? If I put my middle finger on the B note of the A string, I now have a different chord. The chord I'm now playing includes the 7 of the C scale. What is the 7th note? B is right. You're allowed to call it the answer. You don't have to put up your hand. Okay? Stay with me, steady. That's a B. This makes a C major 7 chord. The B note is the B from the C scale. If I go back to a B flat with my first finger, I'm still playing a C7. Keep my tempo, guys. That's right, you gotta listen to my strum, watch my hand. That C7 chord is called a C7 dominant chord. Dominant 7, okay? It's got the flatted 7. Now there's more to it than that, but at this point I want you to understand that you take the 7 of the chord, flat it, you now have a dominant 7. Go back to C chord. C major 7, C dominant 7, F. Now I don't know if you noticed, but along the A string, you actually played a melody. A chromatic line moved down by you changing chords. So go back to C chord. What note is under your ring finger? C. Go to C major 7. What note is under your finger? Go to C dominant 7. What note's under there now? And now go to F chord. And now the pitch is? So by an A. On the A string, it's an A. So by moving the chord, changing the chord, you also create a melody line along the A string. That is one of the ways that the ukulele is played as a solo instrument. And I'm going to spend time today talking about that concept. What you just did along the A string, we're going to do today. That's this session. So whatever else I've done with the other groups, it all should contribute to your understanding here. Why? Because you're now in level 3. Okay? Anything I do is leading towards this. So you've been playing a C and now an F chord. What I want you to do is go back to the C chord. What I want you to do now is play that C chord with your pinky finger. There's a reason for this. I'm freeing up your index finger so that you can use it in a second. Before I do, your index finger is now liberated. It can actually point and touch the nut of the instrument. When I used to tell the kids, point to the nut, they'd point to me. This is a problem. I no longer ask that question or ask them to do it. You can point to the nut on the ukulele right there. It's the plastic piece that divides the strings. Right there. That nut is the starting place of your fretboard. The bridge at the other end of the ukulele's instrument is where the string's length ends. The length between the nut and the bridge is about to get shortened with your first finger. Slide your pinky up 1 fret and put down your first finger flat across the strings. You've now essentially shortened that string by 1 fret. 1 fret equals a semitone. Where you were playing a C chord, you've now moved that C pitch up a semitone to a C sharp. Okay? You sit on something sharp, you go up, the pitch is going up. You're now playing a C sharp chord. If you slide that chord up, you're now playing a D chord. While you're playing that D chord, guess what your pinky finger is covering? A D. Slide it up again, E flat or D sharp. Your pinky finger is still playing the name of the chord. Does that make sense to you? Move it up to E. Your pinky finger is now playing an E pitch. Does that make sense to you? Good. Can you go back to F chord? This F chord is one of many F chords on the instrument. You're playing it with your first finger and your middle finger, your index finger and your middle finger. It's made up of an A, C, F, and A. Okay? We talked about this in sessions 1 and 2. Indeed, having two-third notes in a chord is probably not musically right. You can do it, but composers probably wouldn't arrange their music this way. They would double the root or the fifth. And in this case, you could double the fifth of the F chord by simply putting down your ring finger on a C. Does that make sense to you? You could also play this very same chord by putting down your pinky finger. Go ahead. Now, your ring finger is liberated. See, ring finger's not down, and it happens to be sitting, hovering, right above an E flat. An E flat, if it's put down, makes this what chord? F7 is right. Put down your E flat. You now have an F7 chord with each pitch in the chord represented. The root, the third, the fifth, and the dominant 7. It's a bar chord. All 4 pitches, all 4 strings are covered. You're playing an F7 chord, dominant 7 chord. Play an F sharp 7. Play a G7. Oh, there's a G7 chord, amazing. What is the pitch at the top on the A string called? It's the 5th of the chord. Remember that. Okay? That D note that is under your pinky finger represents the 5th of the chord. Could you go to the G7 in home position that you always use? Go! What pitch is on the A string for this one? The 3rd of the chord. Make sense? So depending on which G7 I use, I can change the melody pitch that's on the A string. We've already established that the A string is often used on the ukulele as the spot to find your melody note. Agreed? Very good. Okay. Can you go to, let's see, let's be cute. Let's go to A minor. You remember that chromatic process I used for the C chord? I also used it for the F chord, and then the F7 chord. We're going to use it for an A minor. Play the A minor chord with your ring finger. We're going to slide up the A minor and put down our first finger to create a shorter neck, a new nut, right? Slide it up and put down your first finger. Now, I know that you don't call this A sharp minor. What do you call it? B flat minor is right. Okay, B flat minor, slide it up a semitone. Now you're playing B minor. Okay? And if I continued up one more fret, what would you be playing? C minor. Make sense? Good, go back to B minor. Up to C minor. C sharp minor. And D minor. Notice where the D minor is. On the 5th fret. That's where your first finger is, right? What pitch is under your first finger right now? D, the name of the chord, right? D minor, that's the root of the chord. What pitch is under your ring finger right now? D. You've got both the octave notes and stops. Keep your hand there. Play both the G string and the A string at the same time like so. Pinch them. You're playing the octave. Make sense? Got it? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, go back to F chord. And don't strum it yet. With an F chord, you know that to make it the relative minor, all I need to do is add the 6th of the scale. What is the 6th note of the scale in F? Go ahead, call it out. D. Right. If I place a D underneath my A, okay, there's the D. This is what chord? D minor. Where is the root on this chord? On the C string. That's what leads the name of the chord. Remember, you just played a D minor here. What finger or fingers cover the root in this case? Ring finger or my first finger, my bar. Remember that here you have 2 Ds for D minor. Okay? That's D minor with 2 Ds in it. Back to here. Here I only have 1 D in it, and it's leading it on the C string. Of the pitches, D, F natural, A, to make a D minor chord, what on the A string, which part of the chord is played? Correct. You all understand that? The A is the 5th of the chord. Okay? That's the 5th of the chord right there. This note underneath my first finger, my index finger, what's the name of that pitch? It is the what of the chord? 3rd. Remember, it's a D minor. So there's your F, that's the, okay, and your root is there. And what pitch is doubled? Which is the 5th. See that understanding? That's going to be really important. Okay, so just to be cute, could you now play a C scale one time on each note? Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Beautiful, love it. Ladies and gentlemen, all of those notes are individual pitches. Knowing where they are on the ukulele is important, okay? So you've just played a C scale. Could you please play an F scale, starting first finger on F? We're going to do this one a little slower. I want to make sure you all understand how to play it. 4 times in each pitch, please. 1, 2, F, start. Go to G. A, open. B flat. Slide up to C. Stretch your middle finger to D. Stretch your ring finger to E. And your pinky next door on F. E. D. C. Slide back to B flat. A. G. And F. Stay on F, keep playing it, but play it softly. Okay, now what you just did was the most efficient way to play an F scale using the A string for melody notes. After your second note of the scale, after the G, the rest of the scale is played on the A string. Make sense? And rather than fishing or sliding to every pitch, I tried to get your hand into a position where it could efficiently play. The violinist in you would play that way as well. The string bass player in you would play that way as well. Okay? Anytime you're playing along the neck, you want to be as efficient as you can be. So let's play that scale again. 2 times on each pitch, starting on F. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, A. See, coming back, how easy that is? Your fingers are already in the right spot. Good, we're gonna do it 1 time on each pitch on my count of 4. 1, 2, start now. Keep playing F. Ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, this scale's a good representation of that A string being used for playing notes. So I'm going to give you an example. In a second, I'm going to play a melody line to you. It's in the key of F. Actually, it's not, but that's okay. You'll figure out. Okay, I'm going to play it, and it's going to start on open A string, and I want you to echo what I play. Okay, stop. Your turn, go. My rhythm is this. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Good. My turn. 2, 3. Do it again. Go. C. 2, 3. 2, 3. Now, those of you that are older than this young lady will know that the melody is from the song Yellow Bird. Could you all please strum an F chord? 2, 3, and C7, C6, C7, C, F. Play an F chord and cover the C on the A string. Still an F chord, right? Okay? As you play that C note, I need you to go to a B. I don't want you to change your F chord. I simply want you to make sure you go to a B. Can you do that? For a split second, what chord is this? Well, what is a B in an F scale? Flat 5. So it's an F flat 5. In context, it could sound okay. Right now it sounds odd to you, right? Okay, go back to C. B, and then back to C. Again now. C, B, C. Can you hear the melody? Yellow. Can you hear it? What's the next pitch? A. Take off your ring finger. Now I've got an A note. Did you hear that? I've got a melody started. Okay, now let's go back and do those 3 pitches. 1, 2, C. Yellow bird, A. Good. What's the next pitch going to be in the song? B flat. It's a good coincidence that the B flat is going to be part of a C7 chord. Go to C7. Can you hear the B flat playing? Good. Lift the B flat. For a split second, what chord are you playing in the song? C6. The A is the 6th note of the scale, right? Now go back to the C7, dominant 7. Now go to C chord to A. Okay? Do the whole melody as you go through the chords. See if you can get it. 2, 3. Yellow bird, way up in banana tree. Do it again and. And stop. Did you hear it? Now, how do you create the melody? You use the A string. You use the A string to sing it out. That means you've got to be careful with what you do with the rest of the chord. So if I'm hacking away at the lowest 3 strings, lowest being G, C, and E, I'm not going to hear that melody. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Could you hear the? That's what you want to hear. So what you do with the right hand is also important here. We're going to talk about this on 2 fronts. The right hand has to be pointed towards where the melody is. I need to point that strumming finger towards the A string so that I get. Do you hear it? As opposed to being heavy on the lowest part of the instrument or the lowest strings, the G, I'm pointing it towards the highest note, the A. Could you please try that? 1, 2, 3, 4. again. And stop. How will you know whether or not you're achieving this? Thank you. How will you know whether or not you're achieving this?
The sound.
That's right, the sound. And how do you know about the sound? With your ears. I'm saying this again because it's so important. I've said it 3 sessions now in a row. Your ears are the most important part of your music making. 99% of what you do in music is done with your ears. Not your fingers, not your throat, not your eyes, not your nose. It's done with your ears. If you can hear what you're supposed to do and measure against what you're supposed to do, assess against what you're supposed to do, you will correct. You'll use your finger, your voice, whatever, to correct to what's supposed to happen. Your ears are critical. If you don't engage those ears, your music making will never be as effective. So when you played Yellow Bird, I had you actually strumming even eighth notes. Now, you heard me play it when I pointed my strum. I wasn't playing even eighth notes, was I? I didn't go who would do that? A non-musician. So what I had you do was a rhythm. Okay? Now to help you with that, could you all please play on on an F chord with a C added, doubling the fifth. Could you all please play this set of eighth notes, which is 2 bars of even eighth notes. Okay? 8 beats. 1, 2, strum it, and T, 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 T. Keep strumming. Even. In your head you want to hear T, 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 T. Very good. Keep strumming. I'm putting accents. For Ron's benefit, I'm going to tell you where I'm putting the accents. Ron, they're on the first beat of each bar. Ready? 1, 2, add the accent now. Yet. Don't speed up. 2, 3, 4. Yet. I'm going to change the accent. Keep doing it. I'm going to change it so it's on the first half of 4. After this one. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep strumming that pattern. I'm going to change it. I'm going to put it on the offbeat of 3. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The accent is no longer on a down strum. What's it now on? On an up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Ron, they can't see it. You can't see it, but I'm jumping up on everyone. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Keep doing it. Ron, I've just added a new accent on 1 as well as the off of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Ron, there are people jumping with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Soften it. Accent still has to come out. 1 and 2 and 3. Get the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Play Yellow Bird. Down. Thank you, and stop. Now, folks, if you use the accent notion from the up, it isn't going to be on the up of 3. Can you tell me where it is? 1 and 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Where is it? After 2. It's the end of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, da, 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 da. Stop. Okay, there's a tendency to want to rush. I really want you to be deliberate about this. Focus on it being even when it's not accented. And I'm putting the and for you on the and of 2. Okay, it's there. You can actually look at it now. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Be really deliberate about the 1 and the and of 2, and the others need to be softened but absolutely steady. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Don't speed. Again. Da, 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 dee, da, dee, dee. Ba, dee, dee, da, dee, da, dee, dee. And stop. Do you understand that? Both hands become important. I make conscious decisions about which chords I'm picking, selecting, and I make conscious decisions about what I do with my right hand, both for pointing the melody, but also for making sure that I get a rhythm pattern that I want. Okay, now, just a little bit of fun. There's a Canadian group, I think they were called It'll Come to Me. They wrote a song called Spinnin' Wheel. Any of you ever heard that? Okay, so you notice I just played the melody along the A string, starting on a C pitch. Those are the pitches. Could you start there and just do that much? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba da dee dee da dee da. Ba da dee 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 da. And talking about da 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 dee 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 dee. Yeah, right. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel spin. Do you hear that? Do that again. 3, go. C, D, C sharp. Yep. And C, and B flat, C, A, and C, 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 D, B, B, B. And B flat, yada dee da dee da dee da dee da dee da da dum. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your first pitch that you're going to strum, first chord you're going to strum is going to be a D7. Then you're going to go to G7. Then you're going to go to C7 to F. I want you to do it even, eighth notes down and up. 1, 2, 3, D7, G7, C7, F. D7, G7, C7, F, D7, G7, C7, F, C7. Do it again, ready, and D7, G7, C7, G, yeah, that's right, D7, G7, C7, F. Keep doing it. C7. And stop. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Out of curiosity, what did we just actually do? I just gave you a hint. Say it again, sir. Yeah, did you hear the circle of fifths happening there? Did you hear it? What was your starting pitch, your starting chord? D7. What is a D7? What is that the 5-7 of? G. Then you played a G7. What's that the 5-7 of? C. Then you played a C7. What's that the 5-7 of? F. Did you see it? By the way, you guys, in a second I'm going to hand out the circle of fifths to you. You guys all understand, like, here's what it's going to look like for you, because, like, I believe in full color for you guys. You know, I actually showed this to people. They said, I don't get it. Like, I know it sounds like this, but I don't get it. Like, do you all understand that the C at the top of this, okay, and I'm pointing to a C chord, Ron, at the top of this, that's the 5-7 of the 4 behind it. right? Like if you imagine it as a wheel, the 5/7 is of that 4. And that's the 5/7 of that 4. So the F is the 5/7 of? Yeah, like do you all get that? People looked at me and said, oh, that's how it works. Because I always thought G7 was the 5/7. How come we're going backwards? Because you're playing the 5/7 of the chord that is the 4. In other words, C here, when you play G7, you're playing the G7 of the C scale, the 5/7 of the C scale. The C7 is the 5/7 of the F scale. Oh, now I get it. Right? Like if you're an accordion player, it would make total sense. Because the bass row of the accordion moves that way. C goes up to G, which goes up to D, which goes up to A, which goes up to E. Well, that's simple. Okay? Unless you're not an accordion player, then I'm sorry. Okay. It's okay. There's an opportunity. You're ukulele players. It's all good. So that's essentially what you just played, is the circle of fifths. Could you do it again? Now that you know that, it should be ingrained in memory. C7, ready? Or D7. 1, 2, D7, go. 5/7, 5/7. Yep, again. Again. This is the third time, right? Now you're going to go to C7. Good, and it's going to end on a C chord. So go C7, da da dee da dee da dee da C. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. Play the melody for Spinning Wheel again, starting on a D. Ready, 2, 3, oh, yep, hold on, C. Yeah, my bad, sorry. 1, 2, 3, go. And again, and now, ladies and gentlemen, if I throw the chords with that, you can hear it start to happen, except I need the melody. I need to hit this. So when I'm playing that D7 chord, I need that D to come in. Watch where it comes in. Down, up, down, up. It's on an up strum, right? Do that much. 3, go. Hear it? Now do the same thing on the G7 with the B and the same D pitch. Ready? 2, 3, G7. Now go to C7 and do this. So I get C7 and again. From the beginning, here's what I need to hear. My turn and then yours. And did you hear that last lilt I did on the end? Did you hear that? Ba-dum. It's an up, down, ba-ba, da-da-dee, down, up, down, 3, go. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Good. Do the entire run. Ready? 2, 3, and. C7, C6. Finish with a C. And it ends on an up. Here's your ending. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel spin. 3, go. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel spin. Ladies and gentlemen, do that entire song. Make sure you can hear what the A string is ringing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheels spin. Thank you. Can I ask you to please play it for me? I want you to listen to what this gentleman on what's your name, sir? Steve. Steve, I should know that. I've seen you before. I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have. You're famous, world famous. I'm sure all over the internet. Steve is going to play it, and listen to what he's done with it. 2, 3, Steve. You can hear that melody come out, can't you? And you can hear it accompanied with the chord, right? Steve, are you strumming it with your first finger and thumb? Thumb, how are you strumming it?
That time I was first finger and thumb. Sometimes I finger pick it.
Good. I heard him finger pick it, which is what I thought he would do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a solo technique. That's what I'm doing at level 3. I'm showing you how to put music into a solo for your gratification. I'm not going to go over to Steve and say, that's wrong. I did it with my first finger. You should be doing it exactly like me. It's solo technique. Steve has chosen to do it that way. Did it sound okay to you? Well, then Steve's successful. He'll continue to play with that and make it his own by playing it the way he wants. But ultimately, he gets to choose how he wants to do that. What's critical? He's put the melody and the chord together, and you can hear the melody come out and the chord around it. Okay? The one thing I tell you in terms of technique, you don't want to be flailing at the instrument because your ear should tell you it sounds musical. This is not the solution. It's a problem. It sounds unmusical. I don't even know if that's a word. Okay, but it doesn't sound good to listen to. It misrepresents you as a player and the instrument as a musical instrument. So I ask you, whatever you choose to do, thumb, finger, however you choose to do it, whatever you choose to do in terms of rhythm and the rest of it, the critical thing is that you make it sound musical and that the concepts I've just shown you work. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So it gets to be individual. I'm not the definitive answer on the right way to play it. I'm showing you how you can be creative and do it. Okay. So you played an F scale before, right? So could you please play F on the first fret, E string? 1, 2, gently now. So this is an F. But the instrument that we have is so beautiful because this isn't the only F on the instrument. I can actually play an F up on the A string, right, which you've all down, but I can also find an F, a very common F, on the 5th fret of the C string. It's the same F, right? Okay, and I can actually take the F scale that I played earlier, sliding all the way up the A string. I can actually play the F scale right here. What do I need to know? Well, I need to know how to make a scale work in terms of frets, where I put my fingers. This is F. Where's a G in relation to that F? How many frets up? Very good. It's a tone up, right. What's the next note in the F scale? Well, this is G. A is next, right? So A is on the which string? E string. Go to it. It's in the same fret as the F was. Don't speed it up. So now you're playing the 3rd of the scale, and you can tell it's a 3rd because it's just one string up from where you played the F. Go back to F. A. Back to F. G. A. Where's the next note of the F scale? B flat. Where is that in proximity to the A? 1 fret up. It's a semitone up. So far you've played tone, tone, semitone. What are we doing? The formula for a C major, or for any major scale. Tone, tone, semitone. What comes next? Tone. You need to go up 2 frets to what note? Amazing. There's another C. It's the same C as the one on your A string, right? Same pitch. There's C. You need to go up a tone, which is what note? What fret is it on? 5th of which string? A. There it is. There's the D. Now you've done tone, tone. You need one more tone. What's the next pitch of the F scale? Go up to E. That's a tone. Now you've gone tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, tone. Semitone F. Back to semitone. Back a tone. Back a tone. Back a tone. Semitone. tone, tone. 4 times in each note, ladies and gentlemen. I'd strongly recommend you keep your fingers right in the right position and that you use strings and fingers aligned. First finger on this one, third finger on the G. First finger on A. Second finger on B flat. Use your pinky on C. First finger on D. Third finger on E, ring finger and pinky on F. Back to third finger. Back to first finger on D. C with your pinky. B flat with your middle finger. A with your first finger. G and F. Could you please call out the notes as you play? Go. F. G. A. Keep going. Very good. I love it. And one time on each note. E, D, C, B flat, A, G. Good. Go up and down, calling out each note, one time on each note. Ready? 2, 3, go. Okay, so I know that some of you were really quiet. In fact, here's what I heard from most of you. What I want from you is this, without looking. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F. Why? So that you learn where those notes are, begin to connect this to your fingers automatically, and that you have it as an understanding. Now I know, don't play. I know you can't play that quickly right now. That's your goal. Get to know your fingerboard. By the way, what I just showed you, do you know the formula I just showed you for making a scale? It's true of all major scales. Here's the other thing. Did you realize that what you just played is equivalent to this? You played the C major scale, open strings. What you just did was play the same scale. What did I do to the neck? I shortened it by 1 semitone. What did I just play there? C sharp major scale. Ask a piano player to play a C sharp major scale. Tell them to play a song in C sharp. No way, not doing it. Ukulele player going, big deal. What's the big deal? D. Now, see how I pasted that first finger down? I don't do it that way. I use that first finger mobily, so I don't hold it down. There's your F, here's your G. F, E flat. I can play every major scale all the way up by simply using the same format as I did with C and go chromatically. That's the beauty of the instrument. I can start to play it. So that I have patterns to it in thirds, and so on. I can do that all the way up. The more familiar I am with the instrument, the easier it is for me to be able to figure out where I want my melody to be when I play chords with it. Right? Oh, this is scary. So go to F one more. You know what? Here, I'm going to ask you to do something. Play the F major scale only up to C. So how many pitches do I want? F, G, A, B flat, C. 5. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Do you hear that scale? Good. Could you start on the C and then do that scale? 1, 2, 3, go. So here, this is what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, da, 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 ba. Do it again. High C starts and then the scale to C. Ready? 2, 3, go. C, F, G, A, B flat, C. Good. Could you do this? Play that same scale, starting C and then the scale, and then play 2 root notes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Good. Listen to this. It's in 4. I'm doing this in 4. 2/8 notes on the end. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now I'm going to do it in 3/4 time. Listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Try this. 1, 2, 3. Ba do 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 do. Good. This time start on D and finish the scale. Watch. Ready? D, D, 3 and D. Finish. Finishing the scale. What pitch did I start on? What pitch? B flat. So I'm starting on D and then I'm going to go B flat and finish the F scale. Try it. Ready? 3 and D, B flat. Good. So here's the entire thing. Listen to it. One, 2, 3. I just finished. What did you not do? You didn't listen to the tempo. You didn't follow the tempo. I'm helping you. I'm giving you the tempo subdivided. Hear it? 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Thank you. You stay within my time frame. I counted it and you didn't tick it in your heads. Now I'm going to give it to you. What will you need to do? Thank you. That's the right answer. Ready? 1, 2, play. Thank you. Who's the metronome? Me. If you don't listen to the metronome, you're all doing it on your own time. It's not going to be together. What do I want? It to be together. Listen to the metronome. That would be me. Ready? Here's your metronome. 1, 2, start. You're not together. Can you hear it? Yeah. Yeah, not everybody, but there's enough of you that it's making it hard. You're not listening. What do you listen for? 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and I'm playing it. Just listen for it. Okay? I could clap it for you, except that would sound really tacky. Ready? Here we go. This sounds better. There's your time. Ready with a C. Now. How do we do, Ron? A little bit, yep. So I'm going to give you all a hint. The low G string is your hint. 1. 1. Can you hear it? 1. 1. When you hear that 1, you need to hit your pitch right with it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ron, how do we do?
Much better.
Much better. So you notice what I just did for you? I taught you about accompaniment. That's what I'm doing. You need to follow it. Now, how many of you noticed that you played that from the F scale? That's all you did. You took the F scale, broke it in half. Bach, who some people say didn't write the song, Bach made a very simple composition using the scale. Now, by the way, it's not intended to be in F, it's intended to be in G. Okay? It's minuet in G played in F. Because it's easier for ukulele players, unless you played a detuned ukulele. Just saying. I didn't tell you this earlier. That's the instrument that I played, was tuned in D. 1 semitone higher. In Canada, with kids, that's what we use. That voicing is more A, conducive to children's voices. B, it makes it a whole lot easier to play a whole lot more keys in first position. Other than C, everything else you will do with this instrument requires a good deal. What you'll requires your first finger to shorten the neck. Just saying. Not that I'm telling Hawaiians how they should tune their ukuleles. Got past that. Now what I want you to do, that same amount you just played, listen. See where I played it? Fifth position instead of playing it sliding. Try it. I'm still accompanying. I'll go slower. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. My turn. Now, try that. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. Starts on B flat and. Is it still scale-like? It skips at the end from an A up to, or a G up to an A. That's still a step, actually. Say, try it again. 1, 2, B flat, and B flat, scale. Now B flat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I very purposely have done this. These are the heaviest, thickest packages in the group. 3 of us are going to hand these to you. When I give this to you, there you go. When I give this to you, what I want you to do is I want you to immediately find the song Minuet and Variations. There you go. There are 3 there right for the front.
We need one right here.
There's some more coming. Here. There you go. Got it. Got it. That's the spare. Keep going.
Peter, why don't you, when you're going at the net, and you're going to 2, why don't you do a 3 there? Because if you're all okay.
I thought I did.
Well, I'm just talking in general. We've been doing it, spreading with the 2.
Oh, hold on a sec. I think. So it's towards the back of your package. When I did this.
Sliding up or yes. Why didn't you do 1, 3? Because it's the 3rd fret above the C.
Well, I have to miss a fret to get to the whole tone. I'm trying to keep all fingers down so that I have smooth coming back, right? If I do that, then I'm sliding. Okay? So I've now given you the music for this. It's the top line of the stanza. See if you can play it as you follow along. I don't care whether you do it in 5th fret or do it in the 1st fret and then slide the A string, but I do want you to try and follow the music if you can, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. A, T, 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 ta, T, 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 ta. 1, 2. C. 2, 3. 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and do it again. 2, 3. How many heard what I played?
The second part.
I did. By the way, the arranger of this was Chalmers Doan. Okay? So he's the person that put this together. It's been translated. He did it in the right key when he wrote it. Those of you in the group that can read music, try playing the middle stanza. Okay? Those of you that are not as adept at reading music, play what you just did. By the way, I picked this song very purposely. Look at me. Focus on here. For those of you that are not great music readers, I don't read every single note, and I never read and play the note at the same time. I'm looking ahead. So when I look and see a pattern that goes, I don't read F, G, A, B flat, C. I see an F and I see a C and I go, it's a scale. Next bar. So whatever you do, don't make this about individual notes and reading each one. Wrong way to read. It's a pattern. Play it as a pattern. There's a scale. Oh, that's going backwards. I don't have to look at every individual note. Nobody's going to shift the scale. The scale is always going to be the scale. Phew, that looks like a scale. Good, I'll play it. That looks a scale descending. I'll play it. Even the skip from a third, from an F to an A, I can see it. It's space to space, right? F to A, space to space. E to G, space to space. Line to line. I don't have to actually read that. I can see it. Does that make sense to you? So I'm helping you here in terms of note reading and becoming a note reader. Whatever you do, don't be about each individual note. Look for the pattern. Yeah.
Are you suggesting that tablature is unnecessary?
I believe that tablature is the worst thing you could do to a musician.
Amen.
Okay, and I'm going to show you that in a couple of, actually, I'm going to show you that just after the break. I'm actually going to take everything that I've taught you here today and give you a piece of music that's in here. And I'm going to challenge you to use that to figure out an arrangement. And I'm going to say to you the same thing I said to Ron earlier. If you choose to strum with your thumb and you can make it sound musical, who am I to tell you not to do it? It's an individual choice you make. Unless you're playing in an ensemble where everybody has to do things uniformly, you do it your way that works for you. But I'm challenging you, let it sound musical. Make it sound musical. Okay? And if I can't give you a melody line and an understanding of chords, and you be able to consolidate that into figuring it out yourself, then as a teacher, I failed you. If I have to tell you where to put your fingers and what chord to play, I've given you fish. You'll eat today. If I teach you how to do it, I'll teach you how to fish. You can eat for a lifetime. And you all know the adage I'm giving you, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to teach you to fish. I'm not trying to be the provider of your next meal. That's putting way too much on me and not believing in your capability and capacity. And I'm sorry, as a teacher, I can't do that because I believe you have the ability to do this. Amen. Okay, that's my gospel 3-4-A for today. Okay, so we're going to try this. Those of you that can play the middle stanza, red, would be great. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm impressed. I did not think there'd be that many people that would take on that second line. How many of you just played it just now? You know what? I commend you. Way to take it on. Way to do your note reading. I love it. And how many could hear that I went to melody? Yeah. Why? Because there were enough people playing the second part. And it allowed me to subdivide the beat for you. Okay? Now you want some real fun? Turn over the page. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm not going to do this with you today. I'm not. I'm going to challenge you for the next time I meet you, which apparently Danielle says I am going to do. What's your first pitch at the very top there? Ladies and gentlemen, on the A string, which fret will that A be played in? Who said 12? You're a genius, Anne. Well, both of you are geniuses. You must have come together. Ladies and gentlemen, how did Anne know that right away? Don't play, Steve. How did she know right away it was going to be 12th fret? Okay, here's your hint. All the open strings are redone an octave higher on the 12th fret. Did you know that?
No.
So when you go to 12, which is usually denoted by a double dot, that's the exact same set of open strings as this. An octave higher. Hear it? Could you all do that, please? Go to your 12th fret, put your finger firmly down, and strum it once. Ready, go! Now play it open string. Same thing. Ready, go! Can you hear it? Octave higher. So your first note is going to be A. Put your pinky finger on there, please, and don't play yet. I'm going to show you. A to F. All on the A string. A to F. 1, 2, go. A, F. Do it again. Ready, go. Do it again, go. Now we'll listen. So you asked earlier, Janet asked earlier, she said, Peter, why aren't you aligning all your fingers? Okay, see A to F? Put both of those fingers down. A with your pinky on the 12th fret. F, yeah, Ron's got it. He's right with me. First finger on F. Hey guys, how many spaces are there from your first finger to your middle finger?
1, 2, 3.
3. How many fingers you got left?
2.
There's no way I can give all those spots fingers. Okay, unless I truly am off a UFO. Thank you. Okay. So I can tell you now, I don't need the semitone behind the A. There is no A flat in this line. All I need is a G, and that G is on the 10th fret with your ring finger. Try that. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Did you hear that? You just played the first 6 notes of that at bar 17. Now it says you got to go to a C after that. There it is. It's on the 9th fret or 8th fret. It's on the 8th fret E string. That's a C. And your F is right below that C or above that C on the A string. So there's my 9th or 7th fret, 8th fret. Play C, D, E, C. Ready to play now. Again, ready to play now. And go to the F, which is right above that C on the A string. Good, so try this. There's your 12th fret. Hey, look at this. There's A to F, and then C is right above the F. And there's your E, it's right above that high A on the 12th fret. So I can stay on the same spot. Try that in slow motion. 1, 2, 3. A, C, F. Now the only spot I had to move was back to the B. I needed to go back to the 7th fret, which has a dot in it. B, A, B, G. Try that. B, A, B, G. 7th fret, E string. B, ready, go. B, A, B, G. Try it again, go. B, A, B, G. Again, ready, go. B, A, B, G. Try it again, go. B, A, B. Hey, watch this. I'm on that G, right? Watch. Ho! What does that sound like? Which scale? G scale. Until watch. G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Wait a minute. It's no longer a G scale. Why not? You would need an F sharp. So I'm going to do the G scale exactly the same way as you did the F scale on the 5th fret. G, A, B, C, D, E. Oh, back to an F natural. Try that. 2, 3, 4. G, A, B, C, D, E, F. E, D, E, G, B, C. Ladies and gentlemen, look at your page 2. Look at bar 24. It's down on the second stanza. Bar 24. You just played right till there. That's what you just did. That's what we just did together. Now watch what the rest of it does. Watch my hand. Where did I play that? First position. Could I have played it up the neck?
Yeah.
Here's why I didn't. Am I going to get that kind of ringing out of here? Not a chance. There's a C. Hear the difference?
Yeah.
Now my ear says, no, Peter, go to where it's open strings. And then look at the very last line. 28, bar 28. Why is that so simple?
Just
Scale, scale, up and back. Try that bar. 1, 2, go, and. Now look at the next bar. I'm not even going to tell you how it sounds. You play it because it's simple. 1, 2, 3, ready to go. Stop. That B flat is what puts it back into the key of F. You were doing a C scale until there, and then it became the 5/7 of the F. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Finish it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the ability to learn and play this now. I've shown you everything and anything you need. For me, just to have you play it would be just an exercise in playing it. That's one of your challenges. Okay, now last thing I'm going to do before the break. This is all leading to something. You're aware of playing first position chords, right? So let's do that. Let's play some of the first position chords. Strumming F chord. Ready, go. Strum lightly so that you can hear me, okay? Okay? Go to C. D chord. First position. Keep it even with me. Very good. It's the second fret, the bottom 3 strings, in case you're wondering what I'm playing. Okay, it's 3, they're all in the same fret. They're all there, okay? If I asked you to play an E in first position, could you do it? What I call as first position is not a bar chord, open chord. Could you play an E in open position? The answer is no. There's no way in C tuning to play an E in first position. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, can you play an F in first position? There it is. You can even double the 5 if you want. Can you play a G in first position? Go. Stay even with me, ladies, right up front. Can you play an A in first position? Very good. Can you play a B in first position? No. You can't play a B unless you play it as a bar chord. Anybody want to prove me wrong? Good. Can you play a C in first position? Yes, you can. The other 2 chords, the only other 2 chords, are non-first position chords. Sorry, they're bar chords. Okay? So let's just very quickly review that. C is easy. D. G. F. A. C. B and the B will not work. Okay, now, you've learned that you can now take that C chord and play it all the way up the neck chromatically to create new chords. We're going to quickly do that with a few of these. So pinky finger on the C, C sharp. Slide it up a semitone Ron and put your first finger down. You're on C sharp now. Don't rush it, guys. Stay right with me. Very good. D. Now you know how to play 2 D chords, right? One that's got a D pitch on the A string. When you played the first position a D chord, what note was on the A string? A, the 5th. That's exactly right. Both of you are right. Go up to E flat. Up to E. Up to F.
F sharp, G. Very good. That was the C chord, right? Started as a C chord. Do y'all understand what I'm saying when I say that? This chord that you're now playing as a G started off as a C in first position. Make sense? Good. Could you please go back to the D chord? First position. Now, I don't know if you realize this, ladies and gentlemen. That chord can be played with your 3 fingers that are not your index finger. Go ahead. Feels really weird. So I'm using my middle finger on the G string. The pitch is an A. Okay? I'm going to slide this chord up a semitone. And I'm going to put my first finger down on the B flat pitch. Do you know which chord I'm now playing? E flat, otherwise known as D sharp. Slide that E flat up a tone, semitone rather. This is an E chord. Very good, Ron. Way to go, buddy. Go up to F. Ah, there's an F chord. What pitch is on the A string of the F chord? C, the 5th, right? Okay, now I've got 2 ways of creating that C pitch on the A string with an F chord. Okay? Can you go up to a G chord? Here we go. If I needed a D on the melody, I would play it with a G chord. If I needed a 5th of the chord, but I needed a G chord, a 5th of the scale, I needed a G chord, I would do it this way. It would work, right? Okay, that was D. Can you go to F? First position F. Middle 2 fingers on it. Slide up a semitone. You're now on F sharp. Go up a semitone. What chord are you playing now? I'm on 2nd fret. My first finger should be on the 2nd fret. Back up one, sir. There you go. Go up to A. Hey guys, go to B flat. Go up to C. Okay, in a second I'm going to ask you to stop, but I want you to hold that C chord. Don't move from it. Okay, ready? Stop. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're playing there is a C chord. Look, no, don't move. The top 3 pitches. What chord does that look like? Ron, I'm holding a chord that looks like another chord in first position. They're all going to tell you what it is. Tell them. G. It looks like a G chord. Right where you're playing that C chord barred right now, the top 3 strings, they would look exactly like a G chord. Okay? So can you make that chord right there, where you had the bar C, which was on 7th fret? Could you please use that form, the top 3 strings? Now, if all I needed was the top 3 strings, that would sound pretty. Hey guys, those people that tune Hawaiian tuning with a high G, this chord sounds awesome. Because listen, on the low G tuning, hear the low G on the bottom? That's a root. That's an octave difference. If you had a G-tuned ukulele, you'd have a doubled 5. Sorry, doubled 5. Hear it? Cool, hey? Now watch, I'm gonna double something other than the 5. Ladies and gentlemen, play that same chord with your 3 fingers, not including your index fingers. Oh, don't play it yet, hold on. Your first finger's now liberated, right? Right? Right now your index finger's free. Could you please play the chord that I just showed you? That's it, all right? What chord are we playing right now? C chord, right. Now watch this. Your first finger can now play the C that is on the 7th fret of the G string. Okay, now, guys, I didn't say this would be comfortable, but listen. The A string, what pitch is that? Listen to this. G string. What pitch is it? C. What's the distance between this low C and this high E? 10th. If you know anything about music, jazz musicians use this. Hear it? That difference of a 10th is an amazing sound. So, though it's really painful to make this chord, practice it. because you actually get a chance to make a beautiful sound. It's a great interval. Okay? Yes, I can. So you're making that 10th. So go to the C again and add the low C, which is right here. So your third is on the A string. Your octave low C is on the G string. Now you have a 10th difference between those. And that chord looks like a G chord. It looks just like a G. There you go. Yep. Now put your pinky down. That's it. You got it. And there, you got it. You got it.
It's not comfortable.
No, it isn't. She just said, hey, revelation. This is not comfortable. Correct. Excuse me. No pain, no gain. Okay? So work on that. Now, wait a minute. We just did F chord slid up all the way, right? We've done the D chord. We've done the C chord. The F chord. I just showed you the G chord that will do the same thing with a 10th difference, right? G chord slid all the way up. Hey guys, go to the A chord. I promise this is the last one. Can you please strum the A chord but use your middle two fingers? 1, 2, ready, strum. Take that A chord, slide it up 1, and make sure that the top 2 strings are covered. What chord is this? B flat. I always thought B flat was a first position chord. B flat started from the A position. B is right there. C. Go to D chord, ready, go. And this position is awesome. You know why? Because it's in the perfect triad format. Root, third, fifth, root. If you played this on a piano, it would be home position of a triad or arpeggio. Play it one string at a time. Ready, go. Backwards. Good. Forwards and then backwards. Ready, go. Ba, 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 ba. Ladies and gentlemen, that is, in my opinion, the most wonderful form of a chord. I love it. Root position. I love it. Now, I just did all the C major chords that are possible from root position up. Which ones did we do? C, D. Can we do an E? No, E is going to be a bar chord. Okay? So it doesn't form a chord. It's going to be a form of a chord. Which chord is it a form of? Can you tell me? G. It is the form of the D. The easiest way to do it is in 2nd fret here. The first position to do it in is when I put my first finger on a B and the others on the 4th fret, like a D chord would have been made. Okay? So we got the E. The F starts in home position, we slid it up. G starts in home position, slid up, and it makes a 10th. A starts and goes up in the perfect format. Do, mi, so, mi, do. Perfect. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've now just realized that the instrument working chromatically gives you chords all the way up the neck. I can choose the chord I want or need based on what melody I want to create. Here's the other thing. I just did it with major chords. Will the same thing hold true of a minor? Amen. Will the same thing hold true of 7 chords? Even better with 7s. Does it hold true of major 7s? Absolutely. Does it hold true of 6 chords? Yes. Any chord, for example, this is a C6 chord. This is a C sharp 6, D6, D sharp 6, E flat 6, E6, F6. It's a chromatic instrument. It's magical. All I have to do is shorten the neck, and it will give me the exact same thing from first position slid up chromatically. So when people listen to 5'2", which most ukulele players can play, they hear that melody, and yet they hear it strummed. All I had to do was take the same form of a chord, move it up here. That's a 7 chord. Anybody want to tell me what chord that is? It's an A7. There's an A7 on the 5th fret, A7 on the 1st fret. What chord did I need next?
E7.
A D or a D7. I just use the same chord forms, but I find their position up here where I can get my A note to pick out the melody I need. That's how it's done. See, it's not magic. But you do have to know your instrument. You have to know the chord forms. You have to know where the pitches are along the neck. Can I tell you how Hawaiians do it? They feed fish to their young people. They get the kids to memorize. Now how they're doing it? Millennials. They're figuring it out for themselves. Those who figure it out become the great players. Those who don't. See, there's nowhere where that's written down. There's no place in Hawaiian culture where they've said, here's how you do it. Follow these steps. Or here, want you to understand how it works. It's a chromatic instrument. See, in North America, in our school systems, in Canada and in the United States, I can't speak for Mexico, the curriculum says we're supposed to have kids understanding how things work. So they are problem solvers, critical thinkers. That way they can read the newspaper and discern whether or not what comes out of the mouth of the president makes sense. Okay? And not just believe what they read on the internet. When they actually have kids problem solve the same way you would in math, the same way you would in science, where you come to conclusions. When you teach that way in music, it leads to understanding. That's the way I'm teaching you. Because as adults, you have the capacity to learn. Here's the problem. It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable because I'd rather somebody tell me, where do I put my finger? Just tell me where to put my damn finger. Sorry. Right? Well, I don't think that's how you learn. Because as soon as I walk away, you need somebody to tell you where to put your finger. Okay? Does this make sense to you? Okay, now you're going to get a break here. Gives you time to sort of internalize this. When you come back, I'm going to give you a piece called Fascination, which is in your book, in your package. And what we're going to try and learn to do is figure out how to turn fascination into all the way through. Any questions? You having fun so far? Yes. Good. All right. Yeah. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Thank you. E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A. What's your hurry? F. See, I'm giving you the time. One time in each note. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please strum on a C chord for me nice and lightly, even eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to change your time signature from 4/4 to 3/4. The way we're going to do that is we're going to put a little bit of an accent on beat number 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You hear that accent? Ladies and gentlemen, do you know where a D minor chord is? Do you remember that? Here we go, D minor and. Isn't that a cool sound? From the 1 chord of the scale to the 2 minor. Neat, eh? Back to 1. Do you know where an F minor is? F minor? For those of you that don't know it, I'm going to show you. Keep strumming, don't stop. Put your first finger on the G string, first fret. That's an A flat note. That's the third of the chord. Put your middle finger on the F. That's the root of the chord. Put your pinky finger on C. Now you have an F minor. It's an F minor because it's got a root F. The third is flatted, A flat, and it's got a fifth, a C. Back to C. D minor. Don't speed up. F. See how easy that was? Just take one finger off. And when you go to G7, leave your F finger down. See how easy that was? C. Now we're in 3/4 time, which means we have how many beats in a bar? Good. I want you to play beat 1 with your thumb, brushing it across the strings. 1, 2, 3, 1. See if you can get that 1 together. 1, 2, 3, 1. The tendency is to want to rush 2 and 3. Don't. Yeah, but don't make one slow either. 1, 2, and 3, and D minor. Okay, this is a D minor chord. In the first half of today's lesson, I taught you that there's more than one D minor. Do you remember where another D minor is? Hint, bar up 5 frets. What form of a D minor did this start as? A minor. Make sense? What your ring finger is playing right now is the name of the pitch, name of the chord, name of the root of the chord. Okay? Go back to first position D minor. There are 2 different forms of D minor, right? C chord. C major 7. Don't rush it, keep it in time. D6, C6. D minor. 5th fret D minor. Okay, keep strumming. If I wanted to add a 7, the 7 of the chord. Let's go back to first position, A minor. If I want the 7th note of an A minor scale, what is the 7th note? Put a G down. This is an A minor 7. Make sense? A minor 7. It's got the A minor, and I'm adding the G, which is the 7. You good with that, everybody? Okay, now we're going to go to D minor on the 5th fret. Add the 7, which is what pitch? C. It's on your E string with your pinky finger. Make sense? You got that okay? So you got your D minor, and you add the C with the pinky. Up 1 fret. 1 fret. So there's your D minor. Good. And then add the C. There you go. There it is. So you don't need your middle finger. Yeah, you don't need your middle finger down. You're good without it. Very good. Hey guys, can you play an F chord right here? F chord? What position did I use to get that F chord? C chord position, right? From number 1, from the 1. There it is. Hey guys, play an F major 7. How did you figure that out, Peter? Well, look, here's C, C, major 7. Same form, right? C chord, C major 7, C6. Now go to F chord, up high. F major 7, F6, right? I followed the exact same formula, only it's up 5 frets. Does that make sense to you guys? Anybody confused by that? Here's F chord, F6 or F major 7, F6 is open, which is exact, keep strumming F6, keep strumming it, which is the same as C, C major 7 and C6. Same format, only it's up 5 frets, right? Could you go to C chord first position? C major 7, C chord, C major 7, C6, D minor, D minor on the 5th fret, D minor 7. What note did I add? C is right. D minor again. F chord. Add the double 5. So you got an F chord with a double 5. F chord, open. One last chord. E minor. 2nd fret. Staircase is what I call it. Can you just stop on that chord, freeze it? You're all playing it with 3 fingers, or most of you are playing it with 3 fingers. Guys, just so you understand, see that chord? Actually, that started as a D minor. No, don't change it. Stay on the E minor. The reason that I can form this, there's what it looks like if I played it as D sharp minor. I've moved it up 1 fret, Ron, and put down my first finger. I now have a bar chord, right? I move it up to E. Now, why does it work? Here's why. Take away the G, the note that I had on, or the finger I had down on the G string. When I had my finger down on that note, that's a chord note. Which chord note is it? The 5th. When I take it away, it's now the 3rd. That's why it works. So you can play the E minor with the G open because the G is one of your chord notes. But the form was D minor. And so when I move it up, I actually would play it the same way, and it would give us a different inversion of it, a different form of it. By taking the G open, just understand what you've done there. You haven't changed anything, okay? You good? I needed to make sure you had that. Okay, look at the song Fascination, please. Okay, so there's a nice little scale thing that happens. It's got a skip in it. Did you hear it? Open strings that can ring. You know the song, right? Anybody here not know it other than Leah? Okay. So it's a love song, and it was a crooner's love song, I want to say back in the late 40s, 50s. Okay? So, you know, folks like Perry Como, Andy Williams, Nat King Cole would have sung it. Okay, so when you play it, the notion that it has open, nice ringing pitches is really quite good. So when I have the B, I love that those notes can ring out and then put down a G. So can you please play your first 4 notes? 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, can you just clap that opening rhythm for me? 1, 2, 3, 1. Beautiful. It's T, 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 1, 2, 3. Half note, ta. 1, 2, 3, tied. T, 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 T. Make sense? Anybody confused by that? Good. Try playing that first line. And here's what I love about it. The notes that you pick out that have 3 beats give you lots of time to think about what your next note is. Okay? And I've just shown you the 8th note passage is the toughest part of the piece. 1, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 2. 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, C sharp. 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, B. Ba da da da. 1, 2, 3. 2. 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, off. Could you please go to the first bar of that last line? Which bar?
First bar.
Which line?
Last.
Good. Could you clap that for me? 1, 2, 3. Oh, when you left. That's great. Could you please pick those notes? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Now it's right. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please go to the first bar of the third line? Which bar?
First.
Which line?
Third.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want the first beat. I just want 2 and 3. Ready? Starting pitch is?
C sharp.
Good. Which string will you play that on?
Third.
I call that a C string.
Oh,
C string. Ladies and gentlemen, which fret of the C string?
first.
Yeah, it's a semitone higher than the C, right? Here we go, starting there. After 1, 2, 3, 1. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get you to do that again. I'm going to compliment you because you actually waited till beat number 2. I'm going to tell you why I said that in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, too many times through the piece, you rushed beat 3 to get to beat 1. There you didn't. You waited the full 1, 2, 3. Feeling the meter, the beat, the tempo is critical. Could you do it one more time for me? You pick this time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 2, 3. Oh yeah, I want you. Sorry. My bad. Start from the beginning. Pick it all the way through. Okay, I'm going to let you pick it. I'm not picking it. Ready? I'm going to strum it to give you the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 1. See, stop. Did you hear it? No. Did you hear it? Somebody came in way early on that first beat of the second bar. You have to let the full 3 beats finish. And I'm giving it to you. You just got to pay attention to it. Not picking on anybody, but it's the left side of the room. Ready?
Say beginning, you want us on line 1 or line 3?
Line 1, the very start of the song, the beginning. Okay? You know, they say God is a baseball fan in the big inning. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. 2. Don't rush beat number 2. 1. 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1. 3, 1. 2, 3, 1. Stop. Can I hear that again? Last line. Last line. 1, 2, 3. That's right. It's got 2 beats and then you're on the 3rd beat. Can I hear that again? Clapped for me. 1, 2, clap. Oh, when you left me. Again. 2, 3. Oh, when you 1, 2. Da, 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 da. Again. 2, 3. Oh, when you 1, 2. Me 1. Da, 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 da. 2. Do it again. We have almost everybody's got it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, when you left me. 1. Do, 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 do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Could you please pick that? Ready? Last line. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to try the strum pattern I gave you, which was brush, 2, 3. And you're going to do down and down, up on the 2 and 3. So it's this. Okay, could you please play the chords that are written there? 1, do you play over top of the run? No, very good. That's a no chord. It would be N/C. You have a pencil? Might want to mark that down right now. I know, I'm a genius. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, wait a minute. Every time a little run comes in, play the run, so that you're not strumming. I want you to get used to not strumming in those spots, okay? Yeah, even the beginning one. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Out of curiosity, what's the chord that's supposed to be played all the way through that?
D minor.
Yeah, it never changes, does it? Hey guys, hold on, look at me, look at me. Does it sound right to you? That D minor? Wait, okay, listen to it again as you keep going, because you're now, you know what you guys are doing? You're singing the melody in your heads, which I love. I think it's fantastic. And you're going to start noticing that, you know what, that doesn't, I don't, like something's missing. We're going to talk about that. Okay, could you please take it from second line, the penultimate bar, the one before the end. So it starts on a C sharp, right? And what chord would be played on the word glow?
D minor.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, pick. 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3. Sounds odd, doesn't it? Da 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 da. 2, 3. Keep C. Pick. Pick. Still D minor. Thank you. Could you please take it from then you turned away? Second to last line. The last run on the second to last line, the penultimate bar. Starts on C sharp. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, G7. 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 2, 3. Don't rush and stop. Could you go to the very last run? It's on the bottom line. Please play the run and the next note. 1, 2, 3, 1. Again, 2, 3, 1. Again, 2, 3, run. Stop. There, it was better. C sharp, D, E, F. Hear that? Do that run. 1, 2, 3, 1. Thank you. Does that run happen anywhere else in the song? That run? No. It's there are 3 different runs. One of them is, that's at the beginning. Then go down to the second line, the C sharp. That's an A. And then there's this one on the last line. It's to the F. And the reason it's doing that is it's giving you the chord to the end of the piece. Okay? Can you tell me which chord does this sound like it works with? Here are your options. Ready? Watch. That's one option. Here's one option. Here's another one. One of them's a red herring. So it's either this or 1, 2, or 3. How many think it's 1? How many think it's 3? Okay, so now I'm going to teach you a little bit about music theory. By the way, everybody agrees it's not 2, right? Okay, which was an F major, an F minor chord. It's not an F minor. There is an F in an F minor though, agreed? That last note you just played on fascination, shun, that F. The question is, what is that leading to? A D minor or an F chord? Because those are the 2 options you picked. How many thought it was? How many thought it was? Okay. No, they're not. The second one's a D minor. Okay. Sorry. The second one was a D minor. The first one was an F. Now watch this. That last pitch is what? F. That's an F. Okay. So. Okay. That F is the third of which chord? D minor. It's a D minor chord. See, when you talk about a chord, don't play. The most important note in the chord is not the root. Sometimes the root's missing. That's a D7 chord. There's no D. But what is there definitely in that chord? An F sharp. In a D7, an F sharp. And the 7, of course. So when we go to the third of a chord, it is what tells us most often, identifies for us, where the chord is going. Does an F sound right? Of course it does. It's got an F and an A. But in this case, the F being the third of the chord, it's a D minor. And in fact, if you look at even the scorer of this music, put a D minor above that. Okay? I needed you to understand that for what chord you choose going forward. When you select a chord to play around a melody, don't just pick the root note. Okay? Keep that in mind. Okay. So you just played through. Were there places where it sounded like, man, this chord doesn't sound quite like it would fit? Good. In fact, you see the F minor that's there on the 4th line down? That's my handwriting, or my printing. Because there's no way I was going to accept a D minor in there. It just sounded wrong. Okay. 4th line down. Yeah. Now, on my copy, I have all kinds of chords.
I haven't put those on yours because you're all becoming fishermen. Yeah, fisher persons, right? Fishers. Okay. So here's the point that I'm going to make. You've played the melody and you've played the chords that are written. The person that included this arrangement in a book was giving it to beginning ukulele players. They didn't get fancy. They gave him the melody and they gave him chords, and they sort of fit, and so life will go on. What I'm asking you to do is to turn it into a solo. Hear it? Now, what you need to tell yourselves and bring out to me is what decisions you would make on each of these and why. So, instead of picking I chose to turn those melody pitches into part of a chord. Where's the melody going to be played on the instrument? The A string. What chord, if I continue chording all the way through, what chord would you play on the word or the syllable that says nay, N-A? C chord. Make sense? Good. On the word or the syllable shun, what chord makes sense?
C major.
7. So put it with your pencil, C major 7. Okay. What chord would go on my? Does that make sense? What's the pitch at the top? C in a C chord. What would you do on deer? C major 7 again. So far, this is really pretty straightforward, right? Okay, can you please play that much? And by the way, the strum that you use, the the brush strum, and then even eighth notes after that, I think that'll work. For me, I like it. You decide if it works for you, but I like it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1. And off. Anybody want to make a change to that? Yep.
Oh, couldn't we just stay on the C major 7 on that measure?
Well, what's the melody say? Did you all hear the question asked?
No.
Ask it again.
Well, I was saying stay on the C major 7, the whole measure of that third measure. And he said, well, what's the melody?
So what is the melody?
It goes back to C.
Oh, so if the melody goes back to C, do we want to stay on a pitch that is on a C major 7, a pitch that would be a what?
B.
Do we want to stay on a B if the melody said, no, go back to the C? Get it? It's not about what's easy, it's about what is right. And here's the next question. I thought somebody might say, Peter, you suggested brushing only on 1 and then eighth notes. Anybody want to change that thinking? Okay, let me change it for you. Let me suggest to you, why not brush on anything that's got a melody pitch in it? So instead of, Leah, go ahead.
Can we brush on mine?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Leah's got it. So she's saying this. What does it do by what does it bring out? Anybody?
Melody.
Yes. Yeah. And Ron, you said something. What'd you say?
It's pretty. It sounds really neat.
Right. What is the nature of fascination? It's twinkly. So this is twinkly. Unless you play it like this. Don't do that. Okay? So you want it to feel like a love song. Here we go. First line. Every time there's a melody pitch, brush. 1, 2, 3, 1. Keep going. And stop. Second line, first 2 bars. How much brushing did you do? Second line, first 2 measures. How much brushing did you do?
1, 2, 3.
Lots.
Yeah.
Every pitch.
Yeah.
Right? 6 brushes. Why? Because it brings out the melody. Do those notes, please. By the way, what's your first chord going to be on pair?
C.
Ah.
C major.
Dice.
C.
When?
C major 7.
You.
C6.
Good call. Were.
C major
Deer.
C6.
D minor. And it's written there for you.
D minor.
Yeah. Okay, and it's written there for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, take it from Paradise. In fact, take the run leading up to Paradise. There's one more change we're going to make in these two bars. We'll do it in a second. Ready? 1, 2, 3, I. I was... Two. And do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1. And off. I want you to listen to yourselves. I'm not playing this time. From the same spot, the lead up, the last part of line 1. 2, 3, 1. I was in a... And stop. How many lost the rhythm? How many heard that the rhythm got lost? Yeah, watch this. Now, the rhythm is this. Can you hear that? I didn't. I heard it all muffled up in there. All of it's brush strums. Ready? 1, 2, 3. C, B, C, B, A. Okay, so part of the problem is that dotted rhythm, because you're not sure how long to hold it. So echo what I do. I play, you play. Two, go. Did you hear my snap in there?
Yeah.
Good. What are we going to do with that spot? Do it again. 1, and I want you to think. What do I do with that spot? 1, 2, 3. What do you want to do? What do you want to do, Leah?
So you hold the one beat and you snap and then you play out.
Right. So I can't snap because that would sound silly in the song. You wouldn't snap and then keep going. What are we going to do with where that snap happened? You have two options. What's one of them? Pause. Just let it ring. What's the other option? Strum a strum in there. Watch. Oh, what's the chord? So I could fill in with another chord. I could add an extra strum in there. Right? Just to fill for that extra strum spot, that extra dot. You have a choice. I don't care which one you do. You make a musical decision there, but whatever you do, observe that that's got to be there. Yep.
What about this chord?
What about that chord? Is that allowed? Absolutely. Okay? I'm not telling you these are the chords you have to play. That would be me giving you the fish. I'm showing you a way to go about this. And if you have an increased knowledge that allows you to add a new chord in there that works for you, go for it. Okay? Here we go. We're doing that, those two bars, I'm going to keep going this time. 1, 2, 3. Two, three, run. Okay, first problem. What's that pitch?
D.
D. What's the chord you're supposed to have around that? D minor. Is there a D? Hold on, look at me. Is there a D minor that you know that has that D played on the A string?
The one that looks like a C.
Somebody just said it. Go to 5th position. Put your bar down like so. Flat down across that 5th position. Wait a minute. That's not a D minor chord. What do I need to do to make it a D minor chord? Add the lead note, the D on the G string. Which position did we find that from? Which chord did we find that from? The A minor form. The A minor shape. Well said. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now you're going to be able to play that top melody pitch with a brush and then fill. 1, 2, 3. And stop. Don't move. You have a run. You have two options on the run. One is this. Here's your D. Did you see what I just did? instead of going back to first position, I could play right here. Fifth position, the note that I had was a D on D minor. The note right behind it is a C sharp. In other words, I can play, if I know my F scale, I can play pitches right there. Because what's the next chord? It's still a D minor, I think. In fact, it's a D minor 7 that we're going to play there. So guys, gals, dudes and dudettes, why move? I mean, I could if I wanted to, because I could play the next D minor 6 over here in first position, Ron. I now get a decision to make. I can either do this, hear the D minor 7 with the C added, because the next note that you've got written there is a C. But what chord is still being played according to the music? D minor. So if it's got a C and a D minor, what's the actual chord being played? D minor 7, sir. You are a genius. Right? So now I get to choose. I can do this, played here. Here's the run. Or I can do this, first position. Hear that D minor with a C added in first position. Which one do you prefer? I don't care. Do whichever one you want. But mark it down on your music. Go ahead, pencil in. Yeah.
Could you also just have the bar?
Here's what Ann said. Watch this. Peter, I don't want to do a D minor 7. She said, Peter, I just want to do a D6. Play a D6. Hear it? D minor 7, sorry, my bad. So is there a C in there? Just a minute though. I don't have a C in there, but if you listen to it, hear that D? It's implied that we have a held note there. You could do it, and here's what I might do. Play the D minor 6 or the D minor 7. Or play it with the C added and add the 6 after. So that gives you the liberty to do it. You can play with the melody just a bit if you so choose. You're becoming the fisher, right? Here we go. We're going to do from the run to the D minor 7, which is third bar, held C note. 1, 2, 3, 1. See where we are? Third line, first bar. And that's on the word no, K-N-O-W, no. You have a C pitch. So if you're going to do a D minor 7, you got to hold that C down with a D minor. 1, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1. Stop. Where are we going? It's a D with what chord? D minor. Where are you going to go? 5th fret. Okay, so play the D minor and then stop. Here we go. Is everybody familiar with where we are? Because I'm going to ask you a tough question in a second. You just played I Was Just a Dream. The next 3 notes are Now I See. Do you see where we are? Third line. Yeah. The C sharp run up to Dream. You're on Dream right now, 5th fret. Okay, now I need a C and I need an F chord. I'm telling you an F chord so that I could go back to a D minor 6, D minor 7 rather, but I'm going to play an F chord. I hear an F chord there. I'm playing F in first position with my C here, doubling the 5th. Is there another F chord that I could play on that C? This F chord here.
Use a D.
That's exactly what I'm showing, Ron. You're a genius, sir. It's the D form of the F chord. So you go back from the D minor to the D form of an F chord. And then watch what I did. Here's what I chose to do. Hear it? I chose to put in an E minor chord next to an F chord. I'll show you with all three. Sorry. Again. Did you hear it? D minor, F, E minor, A. So you get that whole run. D minor. I went to F chord with the C on the A string. Looks like a D form. Looks like a D form. That's an F. It looks like a D. There you go. And I just did the top three strings for you. Okay? And then back to E minor. I chose to do that. And then to an F chord. There's my A ringing out. Now it's got an F. So you know what I did? I took that same F chord, first position, Ron, F chord, and I stopped my thumb on the F. So I didn't go all the way to the A. That run has 5 notes in it. D, C, B, A, F. D is the word dream. C is now. B is I. C is A. The word C is A. I'm going to play those 5 notes, and then I'm going to challenge you to figure out what you'd like to do on those 5. Did you hear it? If I were to sing it, it would sound, dream now I see things. You hear it? Okay? You figure out what you want to do there. Mark it down in pencil, and then I'm going to ask you what your choices were. Go ahead. You got 2 minutes.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Where did these lyrics come from? These aren't the lyrics to the song that I know.
I told you, the simple ukulele book.
But some, yeah, we changed the lyrics.
Yeah.
These are not the lyrics
No.
that Nancy Gold sang.
No, I know. So you notice I don't focus on the words at all here, other than to give a spot. Yeah. But I mean, you could easily do it as a vocal piece. And the other thing is, all of those chords that you're now playing become your harmonies, vocal harmonies.
Yeah, yeah. I keep referring to lyrics that I keep thinking.
That's not what he says. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's easy. That's a D chord.
Is there any something?
No, that's a D chord, because watch this. Go back to here. That's C. Then you moved up and you made it C sharp. Then you moved up again, D. Yeah. Now remember, you want to make sure it has the right tonality to it, okay? Try it, Leah. Try it. Give it a go. Okay. What'd you come up with? Anybody say, I'm just going to pick the notes? I'm not doing any chords at all. Would you be allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. You know, who's going to put enough reverb on your amplifier and they'll ring through all day anyway? Okay, any other thoughts? Yeah. Steve.
E minor, F, E minor, D minor. We're just working down
Yep.
the harmonized scale.
So again, what Steve is talking about is a D minor, F, E minor. So he's gone to the D minor on that A. Is that okay? Absolutely it is. And then stops on the F, just like I did with the F chord. Here's another option you could have done. D minor, F, E minor. See what I did there? Watch. D minor, F. Could have gone to first position F, doubling the 5. With a C, and then E minor, and then back to the F chord. And then I pick the D. The very last pitch, I just pick it. And then the next chord is on the 4th line, it's an F minor. Isn't that a beautiful chord? Okay, so let's try. How many people are just going to use the chords I offered to you? Bon appetit. Here's your first chord. On Dream, I'm going to use the D minor in the 5th position. On Now, I'm going to use the F. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to choose to go back to 1st position and put my C note down to double my 5th. Then I'm going to go to E minor so that I get the progression down. And I think, because I like Steve's idea, I'm going to go to the D minor on C things. And I'm going to do that because the word things is the 3rd of the chord. And I like that. So I'm going to choose to follow Steve's idea, go there. Then I'm going to pick the word more. I'm going to pick that note as a D. And then when I go to clearly, I am going to do an F minor. But watch what I'm going to add. So I'm going to add that nice F minor. And then I'm going to play D, C, B. And I'm going to slide back into the G7 in 1st position. You want to try that? F minor on the 3rd bar, 3rd fret rather. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to play D, C, slide back to B on the G7. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, da-dee-da. Got it? And then we keep going. Da da dee da. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1. 5th line. Just like the 1st line. Here's the C sharp run. Wait, got a tint. You know where we are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me help you. Count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Go to the last bar. I'm going to come right to you. Folks, this is that high screaming F note. And you have to go slide find it. I'm going to give you a tip in a second unless somebody wants to give it to me. It's an F. What chord are you supposed to play there? Now, I'm going to suggest something to you. To get that F, I'm not going to play a D minor. In fact, I'm going to go to the relative major of the D minor, which is what? You got it. Watch this. That's an F chord on the 5th fret. Guess what note my pinky automatically goes to? F. Watch this. If I play that chord, oh, everybody with your thumb, strum it. Ready, go. Don't move. That's an F major chord. Could you go to F major 7 chord? Go. Peter, I don't know how to do it. Sure you do. Look at my hand. Look at my hand. C. See it? Everybody, Ron can see it, right? There's C. Watch, right next door. C major 7. You see it? Good. Watch this. If I go up here, F chord, the exact same thing, F. There's F major 7. It's got to be. The rule is the same. Right? And then I'm going to suggest an F6 chord. Hey, that's an F6 chord. Finger straight across. Here we go. Play those top 3 notes. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. I love it. I'm going to start from the run and I'm going to do all of that. Ready? C sharp run here. 1, 2, 3, 1. And then I need a C with what? You can do it with the D minor, which would make it a what? D minor 7. Here we go. Right there on the 1st fret. Sorry, first fret, but the first line of the first bar of the last line. 1, 2, 3. When you were. Now, this is interesting. That note's an E. What chord does it say above it?
G7.
Okay. In a G chord, what note is E?
6.
Yeah, that's right. In case you're wondering how we figured that out, G, A, B, C, D, E. It's a G6. So instead of playing as just a straight G7, I'd add an E. How do you do that, Peter? Well, I'd play this is a G barred, right? And you see underneath, I've got an E. It looks like a minor chord. So, what did I turn it into?
Oh, D minor shape.
D minor shape, up 2 frets. What's 2 frets up from a D minor? E minor. Is that an E minor chord? Absolutely.
Oh, you've got extra.
I got the bar across. So here, there's an E minor. I put the bar across. If I take my E note off, what chord is it now? G. Okay, hold on. Remember I said it was a chromatic instrument? What chord is this? F. What chord is that? D minor. Or F6. It's an F6 if I don't leave it there. If I just visit it. Remember, they're relatives. If the cousin's just coming to visit, it's a relative. Sorry, if it's just a visit, it's a 6th chord. If it's coming to stay, it's a relative. Right? So watch this. I take that F chord, made as a 6, and I move it up 2 frets, and I bar it, because that's how I do it on a chromatic instrument. It's now a G chord, and the relative is a G6. If it stays, it's a minor, an E minor. I'm only going to visit long enough for that note. So I'm going to come, oh, when you see me. Hear it? See me. Okay, now here's the only catch. Where's the melody? What string is it on? On the C string. So I'm having to use that to my advantage. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm at the end. D minor chord, G7, and C. Do your last 3 chords. Ready? With the brush strumming and filling with 8ths. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. That's it. Hold it. Wait a sec. I got an idea. Do your D minor like this. G7. That's a G7. As if it was an F7 chord moved up 2 frets. Try that. 1, 2, D minor now. 2, 3, G7. 2 G7s. So I'm starting with a G7 in first position. Move up to the 3rd fret, make a G7 chord as if it's an F7 position with a pinky down on the D. And then watch this. Stretch your pinky up to an E. And then play G form C chord on the 7th fret. Yep. So it looks like a G chord on the 7th fret. What chord is this? What is its actual name? C. It's a C. And then I place the high G note down so I give a nice little twinkle to it. Yeah, it's got to be twinkle. And off, okay? So here's what I just had you do. I'll do it all together. And if I was in Hawaii, I would end with a 6th chord. So I would go like this. Did you hear it? Aloha. So that 6th chord, by the way, show you. Could you go to a G minor? Slide it up a semitone. Good. Slide it up another semitone. Stop. If I just played the top 3 strings of that, what would the notes be? Start on that note. E, isn't it?
Yes.
Good. What's that note under my ring finger? A, and what's the note on the top pitch? C. What's the low string playing? G. So I've got C, E, G, A. What is that? It's a C6. Hey, what else is it? A minor 7. So my knowledge of chords tells me that I have a beautiful opportunity to create this melody. Or I get to choose. Do you hear the notes? All I'm doing is choosing what chords I want to do. Do you hear it? Or ladies and gentlemen, let's try it all the way through from the beginning. Listen. Imagine there's a funnel above your brain, and I've just poured a bunch of water into it, and it's trying to funnel through this little spout into your brain. Yeah, it's going glug, 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 and like it's coming out your ears. Okay, I get it. Do what you can on this. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1. Yep. Yep. Okay, so the very first thing I need to ask you, you're tearing up, I can tell. The very first thing I need to ask you is, if you go back, how did all of this concept start? What do you have to first know how to do?
Scales.
Without them, forget it. If I don't have an understanding of where notes are and how they work together, this won't work. And you notice I had you play the F scale up the neck. So the second thing that was really important is that you needed to understand this instrument was what kind of an instrument. If you don't have that understanding, you can't figure out why a chord is an F here and an F here and what's that all about? How do you know where the two Fs are? Now you understand. The third thing you needed to understand, and it's about chords, tell me. There are 3 notes, what else?
You double.
You can double notes. They're movable, so they move up the neck. Here's the really important part. Does one F look like a different F? No, they start from what? The open positions. So how many open positions are there?
4.
Or how many? There are exactly 4. One of them is the C position, which is the 3rd fret. Everybody knows it. A second one is the F position. A third one is the D position. Now, here's where it gets tricky. The next one is the A position. One of them has a commonality. The one that's the F position, when you look at the top 3 strings, it looks like the G position. Remember? By adding the 10th, we made a new form of a chord. It's the same chord as the F position. Think about the C chord. The difference was that we played the 10th instead of playing the open root of it. Okay, so here's the difference. This is a G. So's this. G, G. So it looks like you would get 5 positions, but in reality there are 4. You have to know those chord forms. If you don't know them, then the chromatic exercise has no place to go. And once you have all of that knowledge, that understanding, the really cool part about this is you then get to apply it to music. Now, all of you here today learned one of a variety of solo styles. This is the most common one in Hawaiian. It's using the top A string as your melody. Okay? And you use the chords to go along to fill that melody so it rings out true. It means your right hand also has a significant role to play. And that significant role is in pointing the pitch. But it's also significant in making sure that the melody portion comes out and that the rest of it backs off to accompaniment. If I play, what's the melody?
It's lost.
Exactly. Now you can tell what the melody is. You could have done it arpeggiated. See, you get options with your right hand. I just scratched the surface of it with the strum so that you feel the beats. Your right hand counts. And when you put all of that together, those who want to be, and again, you need to appreciate where I'm coming from. I believe this to be a social instrument. The group I direct in Nevada has a purpose. That purpose is to be the very best adult performing group they can be, to be an example for adults that learning is not done just because you're out of school. That you can learn for a lifetime. So that's their purpose. That's my main function as a teacher. But I'm showing you that if you have individual time and inclination, what you do with the instrument allows you also to engage the mind. With learning your 4 patterns, minors, majors, 7s, with learning where music can be played by reading a score, you don't need somebody to give you the tablature. Today, you started along a road that said, well, I'm going to play the D minor up the neck to where there's a D on the A string because that's the melody pitch I need. I don't need somebody to write down the numbers for me. I know where there's a D on the A string. And you know what? It's not an accident that that turns into a D minor chord. Trust me, the instrument is genius. It truly is. And when you start to figure out that it works in sequence and in a logical order, then you have the ability to figure out where you're going to play what you're going to play. Not because somebody told you where to put your finger, but because it works as an instrument. Okay? My last piece of advice, as long as it sounds musical, it is not wrong. As long as it sounds musical, it's music. And you make it for you individually. Somebody coming, and that we're famous for this. Well, you know, you could have played, Steve, you could have played the D minor chord there. Yeah, I could have. I chose to play the F major because I wanted the A on the top string. Or you could have done that with a D minor if you did it this way. Thanks for the tip, I'll take it under advisement. But it's not wrong because you played the relative major. It's a musical decision you made. And here's what will happen more often than not. Really? There's an A on the A string and a D minor and an F chord? Oh, that's great. Thank you for the tip. I'll use that. That's when it becomes lifelong learning in a community. Okay? This session has been taped. And the session gives you really from what we started with at 9 o'clock this morning, it gives you I hope, a logical sequence of how this comes to pass. Right through fascination. Remember, this is one form of playing solos. Yesterday in one of the sessions I did Good Night Ladies with the group, right?
That's another form where you pick out the melody right through. Again, it all starts with a scale. If you don't have that knowledge of where the notes are on the instrument, it's just guessing. Okay? Any last questions from you folks?
How do we get the tape?
Danielle is the person to speak to. Danielle, they're asking about the recording, the tape.
I will get that information out to you as far as the link that you'll have that will be available for this. So as soon as we get this wrapped up, give me a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we're working with CCTV. If any of you work with other, and I know many of you do work with other groups that do things within the community and you'd like to have that out and about, please talk to the people at CCTV. They're wonderful.
Yeah, I really appreciate CCTV being here. This particular session, today's session, is perfect for what they're doing. Now it's long, it's a lot of time in there. There's over 2 hours, if you account for the break, there's over 2 hours of information on that tape. But all of it's important, right? From the beginning right through to this last step. Taking out any one chunk of it means you've got a hole in the sequence. Okay? I'm curious for your thoughts. What were your thoughts on what you experienced this morning?
Well, I was thankful that I had you from the beginning. Each session built on the other. So I think I would have been more confused, maybe less able to understand what exactly you were saying.
Yeah. And I appreciate the comment. You all heard it?
No.
Okay. Essentially what she's saying is she's glad she came yesterday for sessions 1 and 2 because they built onto level 3, onto today. And the assumption that we had to make, according to the description we put out, was here are level 1 skills, level 2, level 3. So level 3 skills are what I built on, what was described as level 3. I started level 1 with an understanding of how a chord is made and how a scale is put together and how the instrument is chromatic. So you see, having heard that now for 3 sessions, she's going, oh, okay, I get it. I can piece this all together. The assumption I needed to make was, as a level 3 person, if today was your first session, was that you had all that previous understanding. I had to make that assumption, right, based on.
But even if I had that previous information, I heard it in your language.
Yes.
And your way of teaching.
Yeah.
So it was so much easier because it flowed better in my mind because I knew
What I
you were
saying,
saying,
yeah.
what you meant.
Yeah.
I liked all the possibilities for creating a melody by just changing the chords from the traditional way to do it. And it was too fast for me because my fingers just won't do it. But
Yeah.
if I have the tape, then I can go back and
Yeah.
apply it.
Yeah.
Yes, and for me, I would have liked time to digest it and practice, but we didn't have that time, so I'll watch the
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So coming back,
Yeah.
when you come back, what do you want us to then have besides chords, movable chords, and the theory part of it? What else do you want us to be prepared
Well,
for?
to be perfectly blunt, that's what you need. And it's easy to say, well, all you want us to do is to learn the 4 positions, be able to play the major, minor, and 7, and have an understanding of the scales. Yeah, we can do that. Then what do you want? Well, trust me, that's plenty. Like if
Janet, when Peter and I put that together, I will send you where we're going next.
Yeah, but to the point, Janet, if you as players now take what I've given you here and continue to apply it. Look, I use this analogy all the time and I'll use it again. If all I did was come here and say, this is what you need to do, and you went away and just practiced and never applied it, and by apply it I mean try your own songs, then here's what it'll be like. Going to soccer practice every week, dribbling the ball, and never playing in a game. The skills I showed you are intended to be applied. I gave you fascination. It's one example. And notice what I did. That's from an easy ukulele book. It's not intended to be rocket science. What you've done with it verges on rocket science. Because you're being asked to take it and apply all these understandings.
love that you said, it's like, oh, it's okay occasionally to take a liberty with a melody.
Absolutely.
That was great.
Yeah. Good. Steve?
To what extent do you think perfecting your ability is preparation for standing up in front of people and performing?
That also is the game. Practice and then play. I need to tell you, I think you take a piece like this, you work it, you get it where you're look, you know, a great adage from Chalmers don't play, how did he put it? Don't practice till you get it right. Practice till you can't get it wrong. So I have an adage, if I can do it 10 times in a row without a mistake, then it's ready. Either ready to get faster, or ready to present, or ready to add to. But I would encourage you guys, even a piece like this, get it to the point where you can play it and you feel comfortable with it, and then get your family together. Hey, come here. I got, if you're not comfortable with the family, get the pets together. Gather them. Perform it for somebody. Absolutely. And, I've maintained this for decades. Every concert, every presentation is worth 7 rehearsals, because it's like the test. You have to be absolutely attuned to what you're doing. And if you're honest with yourself, at the end of the performance, you're able to say, here's what I got to do better. And then you go and you do it. Yeah.
But I want to also speak for those people who haven't said anything, because I know there have been a few people that have talked, and then there are people like even me sitting here, and I understand a lot of it, and I've got Ron to go help me. But people who don't, they're sitting here going, oh my God, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It's too hard.
Yeah.
And so they haven't given a voice to that. And so I found it fast. I found it hard. But I also know that there are places to go to get the help. It's okay to ask for the help. That I didn't quite understand that. I didn't know where it is.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to think, okay, next time you come, I'm not going to come back because it was too hard for me.
Yeah. I'm going to come to your question. I saw your hand. If you want truly what to work on getting your fingerboard under your fingers and a knowledge of what you're playing where. It's a scale. Keep playing it. Chords. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A flat, G, G flat, F, C, C sharp, D. Okay? Really important that you do that exact sort of thing, that you do that constantly, that your right hand is steady. Okay? Not just flailing, that you've got purpose to the way you play that. And if you want to do it as, I'm playing the thumb on the G string and then flicking up with the other 3. You can do that as well. And you start to get a sense of the instrument. Try playing, I'm sorry, your first name again? Cindy. Cindy said, Peter, I can't play by ear. I said, really? She said, yeah, I can't get melodies by ear. I said, what's a song you know? Well, she came up with Oh, When the Saints. She said, I can strum it. So she strummed it. She went through, oh, she strummed through it. I said, okay, good. The first chord you played was C. What's the starting note? She said, well, C probably. I said, okay, start on C and play Oh, When the Saints, picked out as a melody. And you could tell, I looked at Cindy, she said, I'm not going to be able to do this. And she went, am I making this up or is that what happened? It's true. I said, I thought you said you couldn't do it. Leah, of course, is going, that's easy. See, if it's in your head and you know what the right sound is, all you do is make sure the 2 match. The 2 have to match. Well, it'll get to the point where your fingers will automatically go to the right spot because your muscle memory and your brain connect. And they just put them down. Look, I don't think about where I'm playing my fingers. Are you kidding? I've done it so many times. It just happens. You know, it's sort of like driving home. People say, oh, I find it hard to get to your place. No problem, I find it every day. If I know where it is, I don't think about it. You know, I don't drive home thinking, okay, I got to turn here, 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 and here. I just go, right?
Right.
Okay, well, the same thing happens on your instrument. But it requires you having. So if you want to know your starting place, get that understanding of your instrument in place. And it means vocalizing it as you do it. You had a last question.
Question about memorizing songs versus playing by music. 'Cause
Yep.
I'm personally scared to go anywhere without the music in front of me if I'm playing for a group sing-along or something like this.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to know where you're thinking.
Yeah, I don't let my group in Reno use music.
You don't let them use music?
No. After I've taught it to them, which by the way, you notice the way I did this? I gave you the handout after. What, if I had given you a handout while you were doing it, here's what the lesson would have looked like. Hello, I'm up here. Hey, here, hello. You would have been looking at your music, not paying attention to me. Look, the first rule of a teacher is if you're not listening to what the teacher has to say, you're probably not learning what the teacher's trying to teach. So, right off the top, you have far greater capacity to learn than is required by looking at a piece of paper. And I give you the example of Cindy. If I have it in my head, I can connect the dots far better. And then I use my paper as a reference. Do you know in Europe, they have a separate word for music. The term music, they have a separate word that refers to the paper. And a different word for creating or making music. In North America, we have one word, make music. Or here's your music. We think of that as the sound that comes out. Well, there are two forms of that. Music is the paper, or music is what you create. I want people to create, to make music. I don't want them looking at it. If you're looking at it, you're not making it. You're just following a roadmap. I want you to enjoy that journey. So those of you that were in the previous sessions, I did a whole bunch of stuff teaching words. I didn't give you the words. I started by chanting them out to you so that you get the rhythm together. And if you're thinking, the words are actually being ingrained right away. So that when you start playing, you're not having to look at the words. You can focus on what the notes are. So I don't believe you need paper other than as a reference to fix it, get it right, and then I think you go off paper as soon as you can. Okay? My church choir is supposed to do a Christmas concert every year. We do a Christmas concert, and they say, do we get to use our sheet music? And I look at them and go, come on, you know the answer to that. And they all look at the person that asked and go, you know we're not allowed to use music. Because I want it to be musical. I want it to be enjoyable for the audience to listen to. I don't want it to be about, I got to sing a C now. So as soon as you can get off it, use this. This will work. Your ears and your brain will work. Trust me, or your money refunded in full. You need to train those two to work for you. And you need to have that confidence that you can do it. For the record, I used to have kids in the class, because of course I taught them for Christmas concert, and some of the kids didn't practice. So they'd take a piece of paper and they'd write their notes on it and they'd tape it to their ukulele. Yes. And during the concert they'd be right? And who are they not watching? The director. So when the director cues the ending, and it's going to be a held fermata ending, and they're going, oh, I didn't notice that one. I didn't write it down on my cheat sheet. Okay? This one kid did actually. Look at Mr. Luongo now.
So how many directors does it take to change a light bulb?
Just one.
No one knows because they're never looking at it.
Well, no, you see that's not. Do you know there are two rules to the directors? Like the directors have only two rules. Good, outstanding directors have only two rules. Rule number one, the director is never wrong. Rule number two, when in doubt, refer back to rule number one. That's it. And I tell look, if I lead you astray, it's my fault. If you're led astray because you're not paying attention to me, it's on you. At the end of the day, everybody's going to blame the director anyway. So if it's all going to fall on me because the target's on my back, pay attention.